We begin with the 67th mass shooting in America already this year. More mass shootings than days so far. This time, a gunman opening fire in 2 buildings on the campus of Michigan State University, killing 3 students and wounding 5 others. Police say he also shot and killed himself after a confrontation with officers just miles from the campus. Investigators say that the shooter was neither a student nor a university employee, and police in New Jersey say they were notified he had a note in his pocket indicating a threat to 2 schools in that state. Both of them closed today out of an abundance of caution. We also now know that the identities of 2 of the victims that were killed are Brian Frazier, a sophomore from Grosse Pointe, Michigan, and Alexandria Verner, a junior from Clawson, Michigan. Police are withholding the 3rd victim's identity in accordance with the family's wishes. Hospital officials say that the 5 injured victims are still in various degrees of critical condition. 4 required surgery, all now out of the surgery. Joining me now, ABC's Elizabeth Schulze, and also former San Bernardino Police Chief Jarrod Berguan. So, Elizabeth, President Biden did speak about the shooting this afternoon, in addition to putting out a statement, and he's calling for action once again. Bring us the highlights.
Right, Kira. Not too long ago, the president was speaking at an event with local leaders here in D.C., and he said he and the First Lady are praying for the entire Michigan State community. He went on to say that Congress needs to take specific action. Here's what he said.
I want to take a moment to say our hearts are with the students and the families of Michigan State University. Last night I spoke with Governor Whitmer, and the FBI and additional federal law enforcement are on the ground assisting the state and local folks, and 3 lives have been lost and 5 seriously injured. And it's a family's worst nightmare. It's happening far too often in this country, far too often. While we gather more information, there's one thing we do know to be true. We have to do something to stop gun violence ripping apart our communities. Ripping apart.
So calling it a family's worst nightmare that happens far too often. And one of the actions he's calling on Congress, he's really renewed this call for an assault weapons ban, Kira, something we've heard from the president more recently as we reported on these strings of mass shootings. The president said he had an assault. He helped get that assault weapons ban passed back in 1994. It happened once. He wants to do it again. But as we know, it's a very different time in Congress now, Kira.
Oh, yes, it is. A very divided Congress as well. And, Jarrod, this note that police say the gunman actually had in his pocket indicating a threat to 2 public schools in New Jersey. What does that tell you about the suspect in this case?
Well, we know that they've talked about his mental illness issues. They know that he said that he has some challenges, and he's been very angry for the last couple of years. Reading between the lines, it tells me that he's somebody that somehow wanted to make his mark, and he decided that this was going to be the way that he thought he was going to do it. Why he chose Michigan State, we don't know that yet. What connection he had to these schools in New Jersey, we're not exactly sure yet. We do know that he grew up in New Jersey at some point, so there may be a connection there. But for whatever reason, he had his sights set on targeting a school. And that's tragic, because parents should never send their kids to school and think that they should be in danger.
Agree with that. And, Elizabeth, President Biden says that he spoke with the Michigan governor, Gretchen Whitmer, about what do you know anything about that conversation?
Right. So in the statement the White House has released, the president said that he had this conversation last night with Michigan Governor Whitmer, that the key message from the White House is that they're sending the FBI to help with the investigation on the ground, to support state and local law enforcement, as they've done time and time again recently. The president, in addition to kind of trying to show the support that they can right now on the ground, has also looked back a lot today, Kira. This is, of course, the 5-year anniversary of the Parkland shooting, and the president trying to talk about how personal that was for him, trying to use that as a way to make the case to get legislation done, but ultimately, you know, trying to bring that home a little bit more personally. That's the message that he's trying to send here. Also speaks to just what limited options he has when it comes to this shooting in Michigan today and so many of the others that we've seen.
And Jarrod, you know, while we have you, college campuses are by design some of the most open places in our country, right? And a lot of academic buildings are unlocked for most of the day so students can study. One of the buildings that was targeted in this case was the Student Union, which is usually open all night. So how can colleges step up security without compromising the kind of environment that encourages learning and collaboration and just students being able to get together?
Yeah, you know, that is a huge challenge. And it's not just something that college campuses are dealing with. All of American society is dealing with this business of how do you harden targets? How do you make yourself safer without creating undue burdens on these institutions and businesses trying to do it? I will say colleges are among the best in the business of preparing for active shooter stuff. And we saw last night, hearing from students that were being interviewed, they were talking about the constant updates they were getting through the text alert system from the campus police department and from the campus. They talked about the lockdown. They talked about the instructions that were going out. That was that was almost textbook in terms of preparation and having a student body or a group of people with the capacity to reach out to them and hit them with details. I think that is a positive to take from this, is that it sounds like Michigan State did a great job at doing it. How do you prevent it and protect everything? I don't think there's a perfect answer there.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate just the conversation. Jarrod Berguan, Elizabeth Schulze, appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.